Welcome back to another episode of Dennis and the Doc. My name is Dr. Jim Richolds. I am joined, as always, by Mr. Dennis Thamanos. And we don't really have anything on the agenda today.
No, I think we'll touch on tonight's game a little bit, and we'll just kind of riff, go around the country, some college hoops, maybe a little CFP, maybe more airing of grievances in the Twitter world. We'll see where it takes us.
Because we did touch on in the one that was published yesterday that it is, roughly a quarter of the way through the season.
Yeah.
So it's a good time to kind of re-examine takes both for the Jays and abroad. And so I think that's a little bit of what we'll be doing today. If you did miss our quarter season review on our Blue Jays, it is pinned to my profile. It's making its way around a little bit. But otherwise, if you're here, you probably already know how to find us. Mr. Dennis, first thing on your mind for today?
I don't know what to expect tonight.
Mm-hmm.
If we're just going to get right into the game preview.
Might as well.
Yeah,
it's a good place to start.
I don't know what to expect tonight. I don't think UNLV's good. We've shown we'll kill bad teams. But this is the letdown spot of all letdown spots to me. It's a team you should beat. It's in Las Vegas, but not on campus, I believe.
Correct.
Which I guess I'm not 100% sure, so if I'm wrong, apologies, but I don't get the point of that at all.
No.
Because I believe now when it comes to like net rankings, and UNLV is looking pretty bad, so it's probably not going to matter. When it comes to net rankings, KenPom, all of that, it's not technically a neutral site. Just play them on campus.
Yeah.
The crowd distribution is probably going to be pretty similar anyways.
Yeah. Now, I will say that Torvik has it listed as a road game.
Does it? KenPom does semi-away.
Right, and I think that's what it will be classified as.
But I don't think the net does anything with that. Like, I think
it'll be treated as a neutral for the net.
That's what I'm saying, which, again, it probably doesn't matter that much. But
no, I think it would be a quad too either way. So,
yeah, it's just kind of in general I don't get the point of those games that much. Like,
right.
When you look at, I guess it's a little different, but like when Stanford played Wisconsin at Miller Park last year, or whatever you want to call it, the Brewer Stadium, and it was like kind of a fun one-off event, but I don't really get the upside there from Stanford. Just play them on the road at that point.
No, I mean, in theory, the upside for the semi-road team, I'm struggling here.
It's a slightly worse environment. You probably don't have as much of a student section, but when it's UNLV, and I'd imagine they're on break right now,
yeah,
I doubt the student section is going to be that crazy. I doubt the crowd's going to be that crazy. And you are still going to have, there will be a decent amount of Creighton people there, I'd imagine.
50-50, honestly, it might be.
Yeah, which I guess I don't think it'd be 50-50 at UNLV. So
well, if you told me 2,000 people show up to this game,
probably.
I believe you, and maybe we'll have 500, they'll have 500 and 1,000
something
neutrals
like
or something like that. I don't know. Admittedly, I don't know how UNLV turns out for games, but yeah, if it's not, their season ticket holders going to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Then again, it's an attraction game for them. Like, Big East team coming to play you in your city. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's true. This is pretty good, though. They're used to seeing a lot of good teams coming through.
Yeah, it's good for them in theory. Like, and I imagine some of these scheduled deals are put together. Basketball's not the same as football, where it's done like 15 years in advance. But you still figure there are a couple of like pre-existing agreements, and this might just be one of them.
Yeah.
So this might have just been them looking at us during like the Baby Jays season and saying, all right, well, you're not top 30 in net, but you're top 50, so that gets us a quad one game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see the appeal for them more than us, for sure. When we played the one against BYU a few years ago, or it was 2 years ago, was the one in South Dakota.
Yeah.
Because that one made sense.
Yeah.
Our Baby J is playing there. It's not a road game.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have more fans. That made sense to me.
Yeah.
But then we saw the downside of it in the return trip last year, so...
Yeah, whatever. Not that big a deal. Just kind of like a general thing in college basketball that I don't really get the appeal of.
Yeah.
Whatever. Which, on the flip side, that's why I love us doing a home and home with Bama. I'd much rather do that than play one game at the T-Mobile Center in KC and another in
That's a shitty deal for Bama when you think about it. Like, I know we don't have the greatest atmosphere in the world, but we definitely have a home court advantage. Like, our team just feels more comfortable at home throughout the years. I think that's safe to say.
Yeah.
And they do not have a home court.
It's decent, isn't it?
When there's people there, which is pretty rare. Like, I don't know. They sell out the Auburn game, Kentucky, but we'll see. Like we've been kind of talking about these last 2 episodes, it's that weird time of year where students leave for break. You kind of have other things on your mind, like holiday-wise. I assume the return trip will be about the same time of year next year. So it could be an awkward spot where just if they kind of suck, nobody cares, nobody shows up. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It could be advantageous for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, weird spot tonight. Like, this is the kind of game, if you play narrative ball, we lose or we trip or something.
Yeah, I don't... So digging into the stats, it just seems like we match up super well with them, where it's kind of hard to see how we lose, but I can see a 7-point win.
They slow it down, but they don't really muck it up. Like, they were like 330 something than pace or something like that.
Yeah, so they ranked 308th in possession length, where first is shortest. A couple numbers. They ranked 335th in effective field goal percentage. We ranked second. One of their big strengths on they ranked 219th overall in defense, so strength, putting it lightly, but is keeping teams off the free throw line, which
we don't do anyways.
We don't really care. We're shooting 40.2% from 3. They're allowing 40.9%. Good for 5th worst in the country.
Yeah.
So I imagine we're going to be able to shoot. That's kind of the thing, is I hate the spot so much, and I still laid 13.5.
I hate the spot, love the matchup.
Yeah. If this was like them coming, if they were playing here this Saturday and we were like 16,
I think
do it
we'd
in
win
a
by
second.
30. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd do it in a second.
No. I mean, if you had to like hand pick an opponent just based on components alone.
Yeah.
Arguably, this is the team. Like, if you had to hand pick a team that's not from one of the low major conferences.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you would ask for.
Yeah, the things they really excel at are the things that we're that, I guess. I don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those games where, Lord knows, we know it's a thing that can happen, but we'd have to shoot like 5 of 35
from
3
which,
to lose.
Yeah, like you said, is very on the table.
Yeah.
It would be a little, again, it's even tough to say. Like, if we shoot 5 of 35, it's going to be because we missed 25 open threes, which, again, is on the table.
Yeah.
And I'm sure when you allow 41%, that's probably some negative variance.
Yes.
But your defense also is not good.
No, if you're allowing 41%, you're giving up open looks.
Yeah, you're giving up a lot of open looks, and again, you're probably on the negative side of variance, but it's, I think, pretty safe to say, even though I think they're 4-5, 3-4, 8, whatever, 7 to 9 games into the season, they probably aren't good 3-point defensively. I think you can say that.
Because it's not like they're playing Creighton every week, right? Where it's not like they're playing a team that shoots 41% every week.
Southern is lighting it up from deep.
Right. So, preseason, I said this would be a loss because this looked like the trap game spots of all trap game spots, right? Like, I can't pick anything close to that now. Like, I'd probably take the 13.
Yeah, and to be clear, I don't feel great about the 13.5. I just have to pick a game a day, which is how I ended up taking Long Island in the points yesterday, which hit. But, yeah, I mean, preseason, this was a team that they're in 76th in KenPom coming in. They had some upside. They returned a couple pieces, but they lost their leading scorer last year and clearly have not replaced that production. So they're down to 132nd right now. It would be a bad loss. It would be quad 3, I believe.
Yeah.
Probably. I guess I don't know what they are in net. It's not stupid. I don't care.
I think
about
they're
it.
worse than that, if I remember.
Probably. Yeah, because I don't think net takes into account priors. So losses to Southern, Richmond, and Loyola Marymount will do that too.
Yeah. Preseason, this game was borderline indistinguishable from the Colorado State one.
Yeah.
You would have said Colorado State returned a better roster, had a better coach, but otherwise you would have said same kind of chance of shit could hit the fan
Yeah.
pretty easily, where now it takes a pretty Herculean bad day on our side to lose this game, which, again, not impossible.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
don't credit us as saying this is like a guaranteed win, but it just looks like it should be.
To add to your point, UNLV was 76th preseason, Colorado State 74th, so it was, you said, it was two pretty much identical teams that have gone in very different directions.
Yeah, when we were looking at those two games on our schedule, we said there are a lot of teams we play that are in that 50 to 90 Ken Palmer or range.
Oklahoma State was probably right around Oklahoma State 68.
Yeah, so. they were all in there. Nebraska was right in there, so everyone's heading in different directions. Nebraska thankfully pulled us back up to a quad 1 win there, and it will probably stay that way unless they really get murdered in the Big Ten this year.
Big Ten's a lot worse than normal, unfortunately.
But the net, I don't think will punish them too much for that. Whereas the metrics will punish teams for just not playing well, net won't. Right, I think your net almost starts to average out across the conference throughout conference play. So if the average net team in the conference is higher than them, I think they can only go so much lower. You know what I mean?
Probably, yeah. I'm not sure it's that much higher, though. I bet Nebraska's probably high in the net given their strength of margin of victories.
Yeah, but just there would have to be 8 Big Ten teams below them.
Yeah,
I don't know if
that's stupid. I don't care.
Yeah, no, it is, but that's what I mean. You
Yeah.
kind of got to figure out how to game it, how to analyze it.
Yeah. So as far as what UNLV brings from a player-wise, they're going to go through Caleb Boone, who's been their best player, 6'9" senior. Has only started 2 games. I assume those are the last 2, given the highest O rating on the team by far, 67%. Which, again, I'm going to guess a lot of that's coming at the rim, and fine, go ahead. Not a ton of shooting. I don't know. It's a game you should win. It shouldn't take. I don't think it's going to take your A+ effort to win. Just how about a B effort?
I think they are the highest team in both Ken Pom and Torvik with a sub 500 record from the looks of things. Yeah, Boone.
What about Michigan State?
He is not well. Yeah, actually, are they sub 500?
4 or 5.
I thought it was 5 and 4. All right.
I think.
No, I think you're right because they were
4
4 and 4 against Nebraska.
Yeah.
So it's Michigan State and then
Which
UNLV.
we're going to loop back around to our Spartans.
I think that'll be a pretty regular topic on this.
Yeah.
Boone is 14 of 15 on dunks, 34 of 42 on close twos. He's only taken 13 shots outside of the circle. So
again, whatever, fine, do it. I don't care.
You're not. I mean, I'd be interested to see if he has any of that, the game that kind of frustrates Kalk, if you can drive it from the post.
Yeah.
And bully and play physical a little bit, but until proven otherwise, I'm not going to be too worried about that.
Yeah.
Their best 3-point shoot. I mean, they got a guy who's shooting 52% on 23 attempts.
Mason Miller.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not nothing. Their highest volume shooter is shooting 29% from 3.
Yeah.
So they're not going to take a lot of threes, and they're not going to make a lot of threes.
Yeah, again, it's a really good matchup. It's the letdown spot of all letdown spots, but it's a really good matchup.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really have much more to say on it.
No, yeah, I think we can move on from them. Something if you want to start doing it regularly on here. I haven't done the Hoopa Doopa yet today.
Oh, yeah.
Have you?
No, I have not.
All right. Do you want to do it, Ron? Do you want to? I guess only one of us can do it.
Only one of us. I can pull it up. Yes, for all of you, this is a Hoopa Doopa. HOOPUHDOOPUH. It's a fun little game. Waste 10 seconds at work every day.
Yeah.
This one's going to be easy. Last appeared in the NCAA tournament in 2023 as a 7 seed. So what are our options? Mizzou.
Hold on. Yeah. Are we doing it together?
Yeah, we're going to do it together.
All right. Mizzou, Northwestern, Kentucky, or were they?
No, there are 6. Dude, I'm bad at building bracket. Oh, it's Michigan State was 1.
Yep.
Preseason top 4 team. That lost their best player. Who's top right?
Yeah. Top right or top left?
No, It's top right.
Who was top left?
Mizzou was top left.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Top right would have been
Penn State or Texas A&M, whoever won that game.
A&M.
A&M. All right, we're gonna go with Michigan State because I hate them. It was not. They've beaten Arkansas, Pine Bluff.
Mizzou.
Yeah. Minnesota gave it away from me. All right, 2 guesses. Go us. Now it's Hoopadoopa.
All right. Yeah, there you go. We'll start doing that more often.
All right. Next topic to bring up. We'll go Michigan State. They suck. You'll remember, if any of you watched our preseason, which I don't think many of you did.
Yeah, very few of you
yeah.
did, if the analytics are to be believed.
Yeah. I hated Michigan State preseason. I said that being top 4 was one of the worst rankings I'd ever seen. They were not good last year. They lost their best player. Wow, was I right? And even I guess to be clear, I didn't think they'd be this bad. I think I said fringe top 20, probably right around a 7th seed again. I don't think this is a tournament team.
Let's see. I do. I still do.
KenPom has them 17-14 right now. That's not getting in this Big Ten.
That would not get in.
17-14, 10-10. That's not getting in the Big Ten.
Torvik has them 18-13, which also probably.
I don't think that. Yeah, I don't know if that gets in either. They have a semi-home game against Baylor. They probably have to win that game, and I don't know how they do.
2-point dogs on here.
KenPom has 4, but
I don't think they win that game. I don't know how they would win that game.
Yeah, I think you just look at the Big Ten opportunities that they have. So let's say they lose to Baylor and they beat Oakland, Stony Brook. I don't know if they beat Indiana State.
They'll beat Indiana State.
Indiana State's good.
Yeah, I don't think they'll match.
Robbie's going to eat them. They have no big. I'm not saying for sure it's a loss.
Well, they have a big. They just don't play him.
I don't think he's that good. The 5-star guy? From what I've heard, he's not that whatever.
You forgot. At this point, you have to find out. Your practice can only tell you so much.
Steven Izzo.
Yeah.
I'll give you Indiana State. So you're going into conference play 7-6.
So you got to pretty much.
And what are your opportunities for big wins at Wisconsin? Home versus Illinois. I don't think they do play at Illinois. Okay.
At Purdue, you're not going to win.
Yeah, you're not winning. You sure as shit not winning that game if you get bullied by Jawan Gary.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Looking at the schedule, they got a 3-game stretch there, which is Rutgers, Minnesota, Maryland. You win all 3. You pick off one of the first 2 against Northwestern Illinois on the road. I think if they don't lose, they could honestly not lose a home game. Ohio State,
lost
maybe.
one.
Well, you know what I mean. Big Ten schedule at home.
Well, I'd say because they lost to Wisconsin already.
Yeah.
So they've lost 2 home games. But whatever, I get your point.
Yeah, I mean, I'd still lean toward yes.
You want to do a friendly bet?
Yeah, we can do
later.
it.
All right, I'll say no.
Because I think it's pretty. I think a book would say it's 50-50.
Probably pretty close. I mean, yeah, 17-14, 10-10.
That doesn't.
Depending, if they pick off one or if they win a couple.
19-12 gets in probably.
Probably, yeah. January, February, March.
So they gotta win 2 more games than KenPom has losing. Yeah, I'd probably take that.
Yeah, I mean, but they just have no big man depth, no shooting. It's a bad combination.
Yeah, I just down Big Ten. They'll lose a game they're not supposed to, probably 2 or 3 of them. I don't know.
Yeah, they better win Indiana State.
Yeah.
If they're 6-7 going into conference play, they're not getting it.
No, yeah, there's probably no circumstance. I'm not too worried about that. I don't know.
See, Indiana State's
the thing that kept James Madison in that game was they were athletic enough to play with him.
Yeah, James Madison also shot 2 of 18 on threes in that game. James Madison shoots 33%. They win by 10.
But the point is, if you took the jerseys off the teams, you wouldn't know which team was Michigan State in that game.
Probably.
You'll know against Indiana State.
Yeah. Robbie could go for 20-10 though.
Yeah.
Probably will.
Yeah. I don't know if that's enough.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, I have only watched a half of an Indiana State game this year, so
They're a nice team. Only loss at Bama and pretty much blown out. Yeah. Close win over Toledo on a neutral and pretty much blown out everyone else they played.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that, I mean, looks good.
Yeah.
It looks like they have a little depth, too.
So, yeah, and I think we mentioned this yesterday, but yeah, down year for the Big Ten. For all you Big Ten haters who say they shouldn't get 10 bids in the tournament every year, which I very strongly disagree with, they won't get 10 bids this year. It's probably 5 or 6, if I had to guess.
It'll depend on Sparty, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to guess, Wisconsin's in, Illinois is in, Purdue's in.
Northwestern will be bubble.
Northwestern bubble. Ohio State maybe in, but probably in. Bad loss the other day.
Nebraska's got an outside chance.
Yeah, it'll be a bubbly Big Ten. It'll be weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like talking at Michigan State more. Like, their efficiency is horrible. They can't shoot.
They don't do anything well.
They don't do anything well, and I'm starting to think Izzo is just checked out.
I kind of think so. It sucks, but I mean, what's the last good Michigan State team? It's the Final Four team, right? That beat Zion?
Yeah, everyone keeps waiting for another one.
Yeah, they would have been. KenPom had them 7 and a 3 seed in 2020, but their last time they got a top 6 seed was 2019.
Yeah.
So it's fair to ask. You see a lot of guys kind of failing to adopt what's going on.
Yeah, I'd be interested to kind of dissect that a little bit. The recruiting, I know, hasn't been as good as it used to be for them.
Yeah.
But it hasn't dropped off to the point where you'd expect this much of a drop-off in quality.
Well,
they don't run interesting sets. Their defense is not what it used to be on Izzo teams. You know, I don't know.
I think you're seeing. I think their recruiting numbers are still good, and I think they've missed a couple times. I think Sissoko was a miss. Cooper looks like a miss.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, the 5-star reference, I don't remember his name. Like, I've not heard great things out of him. Like, I've heard he's underdeveloped, not ready to play. Like, was always going to be a project, which is whatever. Everyone has recruiting misses, but when Izzo's so reluctant and basically downright refuses to lose the portal, other teams are covering up their recruiting misses.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal because everyone misses on recruits.
Yeah.
High school kids, you never know. But when you are kind of willingly putting yourself at a disadvantage, you better not miss much.
Yeah. Well, that's the Clemson problem in football right now, too. It's the same difference, you know?
Yeah. And it's interesting. And again, I just bring this game up specifically because as a Wisconsin fan, I watched it. But Wisconsin beat them by 13 on the road. You had A.J. Storr with 22 in that game, transfer. Yeah. And then you had John Blackwell, who was a lower-end 3-star recruit, but out of Michigan, that Michigan State never offered, with 10 and 4 in 20 minutes. That's a big deal. Like, you could see...
Still can't believe Storr went there.
I can't either, but he's fit in really well. Again, I love Storr going in, but he's fit in well. Having a pretty nice year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of think the end's near, if not here, for Izzo.
I mean, you start looking at these teams, right? Duke, not a transfer school. Michigan State, not a transfer school. Carolina is now, but Hubert Davis, we'll see how far he can take them.
I'm debating if I need to put my hand up yet on Carolina and say I was wrong because I was down on them, but kind of see.
We'll see. I mean, I'm not sold on them yet. I think they're an injury away from really, really struggling or something like that. So, I mean, they're basically a tournament lock at this point, like probably a 7-seed or better. I think that's their floor at this point, but even I'm not sold on them as like a title contender or anything close to that.
Their defense won't be good enough.
Yeah. But yeah, it's an interesting question of which blue bloods are going to be willing to adapt. I think we are seeing more recruiting misses than we're used to, and I think honestly, if you want to like conspiracy theory it, I think it's the rise of all these different recruiting networks, all these different evaluation tools that are just ways to make certain kids money and certain rewards certain traits or people who attend certain camps or So, you know, it's kind of in some way the same problem that it's always been, but it's worse now because there's more of it.
Yeah, and I think part of it is you get a little too high on these guys where with the COVID year now and everybody having an extra year, college basketball is deeper than it's ever been, which is why I think you see kind of more mid-majors rising. The pool's 25% bigger than a normal year, which I think matters a lot. And so you see schools like a Duke, a Michigan State that relies on their high school recruiting and development. Players are a year older. You're not going to see many 18, 19-year-olds be ready to come in and play against 23, 24-year-olds.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how it goes when it stabilizes out. And I kind of think that applies to the transfer portal in general. Like, it takes a special player to be able to step in and play.
Yep.
Which, if I want to do a natural segue, I think we've kind of covered Michigan State. Baylor and Jacoby Walter, most fun watch in the country. If you have not watched that team yet, hey, they play Michigan State. There you go. Go watch that. Full circle. Michigan State Saturday. Hard
to disagree with that. And this is one I'll eat crow on because I was down on Baylor to start the year. I did not see the roster fitting together. Ray J playing makes a little bit of a difference, but again, it's Walters running the show.
Yeah,
and
Walters, awesome, top 5 draft pick. I think from what I've seen of him in interviews, seems like a really good guy too. Like head on straight, good kid, which good for him. But yeah, it's a fun team. And there was a little talk last year after the Baylor defense fell off, which to be clear is not good. It's better than Alabama's, but probably limits them from any title upside, I'd say. Of like how much did Jerome Tang do, which I think probably a good amount, but Baylor's going to be fine. Scott Drew can still coach.
Yeah. I mean, just the roster, like, they're using their depth. They're finding creative ways to use guys who have limitations.
Yeah.
It's a great coaching job, I think.
Yeah, and it's a fun team that gets out runs. They're shooting 46% from 3 this year. Is that sustainable? Probably not. But
they're not taking that many attempts, though.
No, and they have good shooters. Like you look at where do you expect to fall off? Like Bridges, I think, is a legit shooter. Love's a legit shooter. Dennis is a legit shooter. Walter's a legit shooter. Like, I don't think it stays at 46, but I can see 40%.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. His willingness to rely on the freshmen is interesting. I mean, they only got 2 of them that are playing in the rotation, but still, I mean, interesting roster construction. I'm surprised he made it work, but I probably shouldn't be.
Yeah, he can. It's kind of shows again how quickly we forget things in the social media era. But this guy who 1 year ago, in 2021, I think if that team doesn't get COVID, they're on the table.
That's probably reasonable.
Because they were undefeated and just like a juggernaut, and then they had the close game against Iowa State that they won when Iowa State was terrible, lost at Kansas, then dropped a game in the Big 12 tournament.
They were down like 19 at half to Iowa State
to
win that game.
Yeah, that was their first game in 21 days.
Yeah.
So that was a really, really good team that killed a very good Gonzaga team in the title.
Yeah, Michigan State on Saturday, Duke on Wednesday. They win those 2 games, they'll be top 3, 4, probably.
Probably 3.
Yeah. But good chance to go into. I mean, they're favored in their next 10 games. It looks like going into a road trip to Texas.
There's a chance. Looking at KenPom right now, it's always hard to say, and I'm sure they'll find a way to drop one. But there's a chance they make it to the road game against Kansas on the February 10th undefeated.
That's what I'm looking at right now. I'm like, this looks like a 1 seed kind of schedule to me.
Yeah, we'll see. Because it does get noticeably tougher. Although, they only get Houston once at home, which is big.
Yeah.
They play Kansas home and away, Houston once at home, and then obviously the Big 12 tournament. But yeah, KenPom has them 25-6 right now. I think that probably gets them the 1 seed in this conference, depending on where the metrics grade out.
It probably depends on what happens in the Big East, but.
Or the tournament, like Big 12 tournament as well. I think if they go 25-6, win the Big 12. I think that's probably a 1.
You're 1. But you go into if you go into the road game at K-State undefeated, you're probably at worst number 2 in the country.
Yeah. But do yourself a favor, watch this team.
Yeah.
They're awesome. They're fun. They're athletic. They're a lot of fun.
I don't have a good segue for that one. But,
not a natural segue. Speaking of teams that are legitimately fun, maybe this will just be teams that are fun.
Okay.
Well, this will just be put-ons. Team near and dear to my heart. Can you fill in the blank?
Florida Atlantic?
Not quite.
Oh, New Mexico.
New Mexico Lobos.
It had to be one of the two.
New Mexico Lobos. They're fun as hell to watch. Like, they get up and down, put up points. This is a legit mid-major program. JT Toppin, true Washington, true freshman, no pun, are legit players. Donovan Dent, sophomore, is awesome. Their leading scorer, Jamal Mashburn's been out most of the year. He's such a chuck.
I was going to say, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, he's such a fucking chuck. I think it's kind of helped them. But this is a team, I'll say it now, you can thank me later, probably not, because this team will let you down. This is like the trendy mid-major pick where if they're like a 7 seed come March that everyone's going to pick going to like the Elite 8. Like,
yeah.
This is the team you pick. Like, good big play, good great guard play, decent enough coach. Like, this is a team if you're a 2 seed I don't really think you want any part of.
I can't imagine anyone would. I mean, they are unproven this season, to be fair, like to say the least.
And if we had this pod last year, I guarantee you this same segment would have been done at this time last year.
Yep.
But like, if you gave me, who would you rather pick to go to the Elite Eight right now, New Mexico or Texas?
I mean, honestly, I think that's a tough call. I'll say Texas just because of Asmus.
All right, so you have Texas above New Mexico. Where does Villanova slot into there?
Below both.
Okay, yeah, so Nova's 30 in KenPom, New Mexico 33, Texas 36, like 3 similar teams.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a fun team. There's your good mid-major basketball. If you're ever up late, flip them on. On the other side team, I hate Texas. I don't think they're good at all.
I don't hate Texas. I hate their coach.
Yeah, their coaches.
Yeah.
Their coach. I mean, I don't like their coach. I don't think Brock Cunningham should have a major role on a high major team.
No.
I think this team is going to get exposed in Big 12 play.
I think they certainly could. I mean, I keep having issues with roster construction being my determinant. I mean, like, let's not get ahead of ourselves, right? Like, we're all remembering the Louisville game. Their losses are to UConn and Marquette.
Yeah, which they fought against UConn. They didn't look in the same league as Marquette.
No. Well, Marquette. I mean, that was being so outcoached that it's not even funny.
Yeah.
They will probably win their next 5 games. I don't know. They're another team that I look at and I'm like, maybe lose 2 games in the next month. You know? Like, yeah. I don't think they're a great team, but they're also, they've got talent. They got a lot of talent. It's not as deep of a roster as I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
They are not getting much contribution off the bench. But I still see it there where if all goes right for them come tournament time, they could make a run. I don't know. I'm not putting my faith in Terry, though.
Yeah, I for sure would not either. Does this team... So this is... The reason I'm asking this question is our pool, which we don't need to get into. Do they ever see a top 10 ranking?
Where are they now?
Maybe like 18?
I'm going to lean yes on that just because I think they win their next 5 or 6.
Okay. Yeah, so that's... I'm in a tough spot where it's January 1's the drop date.
Oh, yeah, that's
so
right.
Can they get there? They're 19 right now. Can they get their off wins against LSU, Corpus Christi, Greensboro, which is not an automatic win.
No.
And UT Arlington. Because I hate this team so much. I don't know why I drafted them. I think they're going to get drilled in Big 12 play, and I think the Big 12 has a lot of good coaches, and I think they're going to be out. Like when they play Kansas, how the hell is Max Aismans going to score on Harris?
Yeah, I don't know. No, they'll lose to Kansas by 35.
Yeah, I need to. Ken Palm has them 7-point dogs at Kansas. I need to set a reminder. I'll hit 7.
Yeah,
I think they're going to get abused.
Yeah, your tough decision is Texas. My tough decision is Arkansas. If we want to chat about them briefly,
Sure.
I mean,
Our buddies.
I can't say I'm disappointed to watch their downfall.
Well, it's hard when you're playing 8-on-5 every game. If you had to rank the 2 most persecuted teams in the country, would you have Nebraska or Arkansas won?
Arkansas won. Yeah. Barely, but it was ridiculous last year.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how to put it, having seen the Nebraska fans in person.
Yeah.
But at least their AD wasn't tweeting about the refs. You know, like it was a whole new level from Arkansas in that game. And I don't really know why. The game was not poorly officiated in Maui.
Yeah, I thought it was fine.
Yeah, they shot, what was it?
Well,
if you took out the
infamous tweet, if you took out when they got an unnecessary flagrant foul, a technical foul off that, and then I think it was 10 free throws at the end of the game, they outshot us in free throws.
By a comfortable margin.
Not comfortable, because we outshot them by 10 on free throws. It was 27-17, and I think it was like...
They had 4 end-of-game fouls, I think it was. And
yeah, the score if you took out end of game, the technical, and the flagrant was 17-15.
Okay.
So...
Well, either way, they cried a fucking river after that game. They're crying a fucking river this season. They do have a win over Duke, which is kind of looking worse by the day. Their next best win is a 2-overtime win over Stanford. Losses to Memphis, UNC, and Oklahoma, all neutral site, and then a home loss to Greensboro.
Yeah,
this is just not the team I thought it was going to be.
No, and another, like, maybe they'll figure it out come March, but it's, I think what's really interesting is the kind of musical chairs of you had Trayvon Mark from Houston to Arkansas, you had Cryer from Baylor to Houston, and then, I don't know, I guess Jacoby Walter to Baylor from high school.
Yeah. One of those teams benefited more than the 2 of them, I guess.
Mark has been solid this year, but there's been a little bit of questionable decision-making on shots from what I've seen through the grapevine, where Cryer has been outstanding for Houston, and every freshman Baylor's brought in has been great.
Well, I'll say this to Mark's credit. He's 63% from 2.
Yeah.
35% from 3. So that would suggest not chucking. But yeah, I think he's had some bad timing.
Yeah,
some
I
of the
think
shot
I've
selection.
seen some complaints about him online. I don't know if it was one game or what exactly it was.
I mean, what jumps out to me immediately looking at these numbers, they don't have a go-to guy.
Mm-hmm.
The usage is way too spread out. And maybe that is something that benefits them later. But this is not how this offense should probably flow.
No, probably not. All this being said, and feel free to disagree, I'd probably buy stock in him right now.
I don't think I'm going to drop him.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, has not been the start I was hoping for. They have let me down on a couple of decent opportunities so far.
Did you take them 1 pick ahead of Baylor?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Oh, great. To be fair, I passed over Arizona. So
yeah. Who'd you take instead of Arizona?
Marquette's
okay,
not
yeah,
terrible.
Calm down.
But I think Arizona's clearly going to be a better option.
Looks that way. Not going to pick up a whole lot of wins in conference, though.
Arizona?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that Marquette
that was my thinking. Yeah, I thought the Big East would be good.
Like, don't get me wrong. If you left Marquette, I was taking Marquette.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah. But I guess we can. All right, fine. Another natural segue. Agree or disagree? To me, there's 3 very distinct tiers right now at the top of the sport.
okay.
Tier 1, I have Arizona and Purdue. I think those are the two best teams. If the bracket came out today and those teams were on opposite sides, set it, forget it, that's my championship.
I mean, that was my preseason championship.
Was it?
So.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
How about that? I had a Duke, which maybe a little work to do from them. I think the next tier is Houston, UConn.
Okay.
To me, I think, and UConn I think has a shot to get to that first tier. By all the analytics, which what else is new? The analytics will have Houston. Houston's the best team in the country, but I want to see improve at this point. I don't.
Yeah.
I've seen Houston beat the shit out of bad teams for 5 years now. Like,
Mhm.
if they certainly could go 17-3 in the Big 12, and it wouldn't stun me, but they're gonna have to show me that at this point.
Yeah.
UConn, yeah, we'll see what Castle looks like. This team's not as good as last year's. It's not. I don't think.
I don't think it's as good as last year's team, but I don't think that means a whole lot.
No, I think it's. I'm gonna say I think Houston, UConn's in that next tier. Like
Yeah.
3-4.
I mean, I would have them. If Purdue, Arizona is 1A, 1B, UConn is 3.
I think I have UConn, Houston 3A, 3B.
Okay.
Uh,
I would lean toward UConn having a step on Houston at this point.
Yeah, fair enough. So that's my 3-4, and then I have about 10 teams in the next tier below. I think that's where it gets really messy.
I would lean toward pushing Marquette up a tier, like into that, like almost Houston. Like again, I would have them number 5, like definitively. After that, yeah, I think you can make a case for a handful.
Do you agree Arizona, Purdue is 1A, 1B?
Yeah,
in
oh,
whatever
100%.
order? Or
Yeah.
is there one team you like more than the other?
If they played today, I would lean Arizona.
Well, they play Saturday, so
Yeah.
you can wait
Right? Yeah.
2 hours and pick it then. Is that game straight neutral? Where is that game?
It is. Oh, I have no idea.
I'll find it.
It's on Peacock. Did you know that? Yeah.
I did know that, yeah.
Found that out this morning. I'm like, oh.
It's somewhere. It looks like it's somewhere in Indiana, but not Purdue. So
Fielder's Life Bank House. Lifers Bank Fieldhouse.
Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Yeah.
Home stadium for the Indiana Pacers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that'll be get to your TV or streaming capable device and nice little warm up for.
I was gonna say, what
Bama.
time is that one?
3.
3. Perfect.
Yeah, it works out well. But yeah, that next tier. So for me, the 5th best team. If you made me choose one, I guess I'd say Baylor. I don't know. There's a lot of and I think a lot of this is chalked up to the COVID year and another year of experience. But there's a lot of really fun offenses.
Yep.
Yep. And Creighton hasn't played anyone. The fact that they're the 12th best offense in the country is pretty insane because I think it's a really damn good offense.
Yeah. I mean, yes, if you take out the Colorado State game,
Yeah.
probably number 3. It might actually be dragging us down that much.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what else you could do in every other game we played. I don't know how you could play better offense than we have in every other game.
Yeah. You want to hear an insane stat that'll make me a little sad?
Sure.
Alabama's offense ranks 123 as an adjusted O rating of 123.1. What did Wisconsin's 2015 team rank?
On adjusted offense?
Yeah. What was their offensive efficiency?
124.
129. 6 points better than the best offense that year. Foul what you're really looking for. If it's a foul in the first minute, it's a foul in the last minute. So yeah, a lot of fun offenses. Yeah, I guess those are my main national college basketball takes. I do have one other discussion prompt. It's from a little bit ago.
Okay.
And the best way you can podcast is by getting to 3-week-old news. So, did you see the tweet about saying Montverde would win multiple Division I conferences?
Yeah, ridiculous.
I don't know if it is.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know if it is.
I think people forget how much kids actually mature from 17 to 19. The amount of filling in you do. Don't get me wrong. Do I think they would compete in the NEC? Yeah, they probably would.
Yeah, okay, win a conference.
If I would say they would be 320th in Ken Palm or something like that.
So where did last year's Merrimack team? Because this year's Merrimack team ranks like in the mid 200s. I got it here in a second.
What is Coppin State this year?
What is the worst? Yeah, they're terrible. Merrimack won the NEC regular season and conference tournament. Funny enough, Fairleigh Dickinson did not win that conference tournament, lest we forget.
Yeah.
And ranked 309th. Like, I think they maybe could win that conference.
I mean, the size matches up. It's just like they don't run away with the national championship every year. Like, they get pushed by the La Looms, the Sierra Canyons of the world.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. I see some of those kids come in and just bomb at the college level their first couple of years too.
Yeah.
So do I think Montverde has like 3 kids that would be able to play with most of the guys? Yeah. They wouldn't have the depth.
It's like Cooper Flag. Yeah, that's true. I guess I don't know what their depth looks like, but Cooper Flag would be the best player on the court, right?
Yeah.
Counts for something.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find like a quick roster of where everyone's going on that team. A given Montverde team normally has 4 to 5 high major commits, right?
Yeah, but what, 2 or 3 of those play right away?
Yeah, but
That's what I mean. You
you
probably have 2 or 3 high major depth. You have hold on. You have 1 high major starter for sure in flag.
Yep.
Let's say you have 2 more high major depth pieces, and a couple of like red shirt quality guys. I think that's fair to say.
Sure.
Yeah, that team competes.
Well, it goes back to our old adage of like, could we, when we played Florida A&M or Central Michigan or whoever, could we beat them with our second unit? And I don't know if you can say yes to that question and no to the Montverde question.
I think you could. Yeah, I think you could. There's a difference between getting... Like, don't get me wrong, I doubt the coaching gap is huge between a Merrimack and a Montverde either.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's maturity, it's ball handling, it's little stuff that I think would make a bit of difference.
Okay, so
Like,
if you
forget how much Montverde feasts on just running transition and
Yeah.
literally just coast to coast dribble and dunk.
Yeah.
You know, like, they don't run offensive sets, I don't think.
Yeah. But if you I'll concede the conference point, I guess. Like that part is like, okay, fine. But I think the people who are saying they wouldn't, like, they'd get blown out by 40 by the worst D1 teams.
No,
crazy.
I disagree with that.
Like,
Yeah.
Cobb State had like 40 points on Louisville.
Yeah.
I think they could compete there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it's very different than when people say, could Alabama beat the Cleveland Browns?
Right. Yeah, that's not even the same discussion.
Yeah, that's very different. This one, I think there's some legit nuance to it.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about, because what, high school nationals are in like March, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about 7 months later, they're playing D1 games anyways.
Yeah.
I can buy that.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that point. I have another unpopular opinion. This one's more online. I don't really think Sicko's committee's funny at all.
It's not.
Okay.
It used to be. It's not.
I'm glad it insists upon itself to be
Good reference.
It's a bit.
No, it is. It's that same argument that I made for like when people do it for crappy
mid-major
majors.
basketball.
Like, all right, we get it.
Yeah,
we get it. You watch a lot of college basketball.
Yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else. It's really.
I mean, we could chat other teams, but I feel like we could sit here and do that all day.
Sit and talk other teams.
We got the Powder Blue Out coming on Saturday.
Oh yeah, we had that. Yeah, we went over this, which it went like okay last year, right?
We didn't do Powder Blue. No, we did the Stripe Out last year.
I swear we've done a Powder Blue before.
I don't think so.
Did I already get pre-mad about it in the summer? Because I know I've already had.
We tweeted about it.
Did we?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I don't get the point of that.
Well, because I remember your response was everybody owns a white shirt, not everybody owns a powder blue shirt.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Which I mean, honestly, if any fan base does, like, you don't think everyone in our fan base has a powder blue collared shirt in their
I
closet
genuinely do
somewhere?
not.
Really?
Yeah, I genuinely do not.
What about that one you wore as the ring announcer?
That was like
Is
a
that
royal
darker
blue dress shirt.
Is it? Well, that's what I mean, a collared shirt.
Oh.
Because that was the first thing my head went to, is I think that's the only powder blue shirt I have.
Oh,
Like,
I mean, I guess, yeah, okay, I might have one of
nobody's
those,
going to
but
wear
I'm
it.
not wearing
I'm
that.
just saying, like, to say that, I don't know, if any fan base would wear that in a sweater vest.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really get the point of it. Like, is it that hard to find some Omaha company to donate 8,000 shitty T-shirts or something like that?
Well, I wonder if they did, because I think it was the same thing for one of the games last year. I don't remember which one, where they announced it as a, like, I don't know, blew out or something, and didn't tell everyone there were going to be shirts, but then there were. So people don't rely on it if you
Yeah.
don't have enough. I don't know. Maybe, that's what I would do if I was promoting it, but
Yeah.
or just towels or something. I don't know. Whatever's cheaper.
I just don't really get the point of the powder blue out.
Well, you know, they probably bought a bunch of powder blue balloons and are like, we got to use these for something.
Yeah, is the dance team going to be in there? It'd be fun if we did a powder blue out against Villanova.
It would be. Like, I hate when teams do that, like wear the color that your opponent is known for wearing, but like, I don't know why Marquette doesn't wear yellow in every neutral site game. Like, they wore white all 3 games in Maui. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Nobody wants. I don't like Marquette's jerseys to begin with. I think with those colors, having that is an abomination.
Yeah, well, I hate Marquette. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I think they're fine.
Like, that script, it doesn't say Marquette to me. That font and the number script, like, it looks so fucking dumb.
Is your favorite Marquette ones like the DJO, Jimmy Butler, Jay Crowder ones?
Probably, but I don't even love those.
Okay.
Like, I don't know how to describe what I would like those jerseys to look like,
Okay.
but they need to look different.
Okay. Noted, I guess. Other news and notes. Juwan Howard potentially done. Got in a fight with the strength coach.
It's not going anywhere.
Who could have seen that coming?
They put up with it last year. They'll put up with it. Well, they'll put up with it as long as they're winning, so maybe not. Yeah.
Fran McCaffrey got ejected. Congrats
What
to
else
him.
is new? Yeah.
Congrats to him.
In today's What Else is News.
Yeah. Never ask a man his salary, woman or age. Fran McCaffrey, why his youngest son lives in Indiana. You guys can Google that if you're still listening.
Yeah, the Iowa season is really, crashing.
Yeah, it's taking a crash.
Google McCaffrey crash to learn
Google.
more.
Yeah. Yeah. Never underestimate the power of having money in society.
Yeah, it's a thing, isn't it?
That's all I'll say. You can draw your own conclusions. Just gonna.
They're off to a hell of a
They
start.
suck. Yeah.
Ah,
Sad to
that's a
see.
shame.
Yeah, it is sad to see.
All right. Well, you got anything else?
Drop a comment if you want to. Who is Chris Boyd investigation?
We got it. All right. Like, let's just intro this topic just to at least get everyone up to speed. If you haven't seen him in your replies yet, you will soon enough.
Yeah.
It won't make any goddamn sense, but you'll see it.
I even tried reading them while drunk to see if it could if I could uncross them, kick the mule eyes, crossed, kicked again, so went back straight.
And
Didn't help.
don't mean to be too.
Yeah, there's a
mean,
chance.
just in case.
Yeah, I think there's a chance that is the case.
I'm not convinced I've been saying from the beginning that it's actually a super advanced burner.
If it's an advanced burner, I want to meet him. It's incredible.
It's some of the stuff it's stuff you couldn't think about if it is a burner, which is why it almost has to be. I could sit around all day and not come up with half the stuff he says.
Yeah. Well, you don't even have. I think it's impossible because you would think about it. I don't think you can think about what's being said because it won't make any fucking sense.
Well, it's always like he's replying to a different tweet.
Yeah.
Like he accidentally replied
It's
to the
like
wrong
lagging
tweet.
in real life.
Yeah.
3 replies behind.
Like it was like if you rearranged the replies to different original tweets, then it might make sense. But yeah, mystery, absolute mystery. What's going on there? So we might have a full breakdown. We might even do like a video format so we can produce evidence while it's happening.
Oh, that'd be great.
We'll consider. We gotta make sure of some things
Yeah.
before we do that. I think.
Probably.